Okay, as soon as I get that first layer in, I like to start putting my darks in. So we're going to use our darker brush for that. And just start dropping in where we see these darks. Smaller brush is better for this. This brush is really too large. Let me get a smaller brush, maybe a number 4, or if you have a good pointed brush, that would be fine. Tails are not, it's not going to be possible to have total detail in here. Just keep your lines kind of clean where you can. Put some nice shapes in here. With painting detail like this, it's all about suggestion. So you just want to suggest little marks here. Paying attention to saving the actual shape up there. These archways are important. There's a tiny little shape right here. There's a, right above this, there's a tiny dark shape here. It's very sharp. Then up underneath, let's see here, you've got this. Kind of keep your finger or something on these, and there's all kind of filigree around here, so we just kind of suggest that. There is a dark line right here. Around this edge, there's a shadow. This is all dark. So just work your way around these areas. Next to this, there's kind of a, this is actually a piece that sticks out like that. This is dark in here behind that, behind this piece that sticks out. So you're just, it's all about the illusion of detail. You could do this totally accurately. It would take you forever to do this, but you could do it. It's just right now, it's just getting the idea that there's something going on here. Lights and darks. And over in here. And watch your edges, keep them clean where you're putting these. And just build it gradually. If you feel like you're losing control, just clean your, blot your brush and get a little bit thicker mixture. And there's a dark area that comes right here. So I'm using a pointed number 4. So you really need a detail brush for this. These shadows that kind of come up, try to make them as straight as possible. This actually goes right along this edge of the roof line. But try not to make that a perfect detail. Needs to be a straight line though. Just don't carry your lines all the way. Okay, that there. You've got a dark side on this one because this is the shadow side. Remember that. Everything on this side is going to be more in shadow. Everything on this side is going to be in the light. So everywhere that you see a darkness or a shadow line, go ahead and put it in. There's a little marker here, a little, just suggesting some kind of detail here. We don't want that so heavy. So if you get something that's too heavy like this, just go in with a wet brush and lighten it, a damp brush. We're going to soften these lines as we go, so don't worry about that. Okay, on the top of this one, the very top of this, let's go over here first. We have a dark line here, very soft. We have a dark line here on top of this. There's also a dark line up in here. So we're not going to go crazy with this, but we do need to get the darks where the darks are going to be, because this is a roadmap of what your final painting will be like. This is all dark in here. The more precise your architecture is, the more realistic, of course, your work's going to look. We've got a roof out here. There is a roof here, which I've painted in for some reason, so we're going to have, I've actually done masking on that, but we'll correct that in a bit. Not right now. When we take the masking fluid off, we'll correct that. We have a little bit here. We have some little decoration things here. This is actually louvered. I don't know if you want to put that detail in there or not, but you certainly can. There's another dark roof over here. We'll stick that in. Okay, let's get our man in. Just give him some dark clothes here. With a shirt, comes about like here. Leave that white area. Like that. You can make his pants a little lighter if you want to. At this point, it doesn't really matter. We'll just go on in with that, like that. Okay, just to remind us he's there. All right, we have a tiny ledge right up under here. Over here, this is totally dark in here. We had that there, but I think we need to go on in here with that dark all the way in there, like that. Take this on down so it makes sense. That. Up here, we've got another highlighted area here, and a dark shadow on this side. Person there. Just keep that soft right now. I've got this dark area here. So I'm just working my way around these areas. This is a great thing about painting from an iPad. You can actually see the detail so much better. Okay, over here we've got a line here, but when you've got these shadow lines, put it in and then soften it so it's not so harsh. Got a little bit of a darkness This is dark here. All these shadow shapes will make sense as we move along and get our painting to the higher level there. Okay. All right, let's see what's happening up here. We need a line coming here like that, but we want it soft. Okay, there's the tiniest line that emphasizes the shape. This person here, I guess it's not really a person, it's just a shape. So you just have to pay attention and, you know, just don't spend too much time worrying about this. It's not that critical. The rosette is probably the focal point of the church, so that needs to be accurate. And these little areas here. Should have painted in the color of that first, because we're going to have to paint over this, but I think it'll be okay. Great. Now these are very dark here. And you save the shapes with your masking fluid. This is dark here, whatever that is. It doesn't really matter what it is, just as long as you get some suggestions of that there's things sticking out and things not sticking out. Okay, coming on down, we've got some dark areas here, in here, in here. That is not a complete dark though, if you notice that. It's, there's a very darkness here. But again, that's a soft edge, so let's lose that edge there, just with clean water. Got a nice dark up here somewhere. We'll find that in a minute. That's down here. Okay, so this is a whole dark roof sticking out here. There's also on this pillar, we should have a dark one of these right here. Maybe even, actually, that's not the right place. Yeah, it is. Okay, that's all right. Okay. All right. We'll get that in a minute. All right, just keep working your darks. Just anywhere. And if you miss something, don't worry. You can always add it. Okay, so we've got this pipe thing hanging out here. We've got this beautiful thing right here. Just really beautiful. That sticks out here. So we kind of want to emphasize that. This is a loose, a very loose painting. It's not a tight painting. So it's not a rendering, so it is a painting. So keep that in mind. This is dark all in here. And if your darks are not exactly in the right place, it's not going to ruin your painting. You're just given the suggestion that some things are coming forward, some things are going back, some things are in light, some things are in shadow, and that's really what's important, not so much where everything is. There's an entire darkness down here on this entire side over here, particularly here. So let's just do a light wash. Take most of it off. That way we start defining our structure. Okay, so we're going to kind of just stop that there. So we've got this side kind of darker than that facade. It's a facade actually, or a face of the bricks. A little darker up in here, but not severely. Okay, lighten up your blues anywhere that they're too dark. This whole thing is dark. Let's just go ahead and put that in shadow. We've got the side of this one. All right, we're getting there. Just try to keep your lines as precise as possible, because the more looser your lines become, the more detail you lose. So I'm going to come on down here with this and get this in. Remembering this is just our first dark wash. We're not going as dark as we're going to right now. We're just establishing where these darks are. Okay. With water, a lot of water, we'll just go ahead and run down the bricks on this side here for a soft shadow line there. There's also a shadow line that comes like this, but make it very soft. We've got a lot of shadow in here, very watery mixture here, and not everywhere, so we want some of this to stand out. And I think I'm just going to go ahead down here, carry this on down in dark on down into here, like there's some shadows in here. There should be a shadow on this from this fellow anyway, and from the light pole. So we'll just give it a little shadow in there, just to soften it a bit. So I don't see a lot of shadows over on this side at all. Here's some in this tree business though. So just dab some darks in there to remind you that there's not on the post though. The post is dark though, just around this guy. I just put one man in because I really didn't think we needed all these people in here. Right, let's get this post just with a very fine line, just to remind us that's dark. The top is also dark. It's like a little bell shape. There's a tiny little bit at the bottom, like that. I think we've got some shadow up in here, maybe behind that. Let's just put some shadows up in there. We've got a roof line here that is not as dark, but we'll just remind ourselves that these roofs are dark. That. Okay. There's another one down here, but it's the limestone color, so we're not going to worry about that. So I'm going to take my dark and a lot of water, and I'm going to come up from here like this and put these shadows in that are much darker. Go around your vegetation here And just drag it lightly. Don't mess your masking fluid up. Just drag it up from the bottom. So we have some darks suggested here. And underneath your foliage, there's going to be some darks. Okay. Is a tiny little shape right here, but that needs to be done. Just a tiny little shape right there. Oh, there's a darkness in here all the way up. Just some of our shadow lines where our architecture is dividing, where the brick is moving. You can put a little darkness if you want to. Let's go ahead and put this door in because that's standing out a lot. And that's going to be burnt sienna. So let's try to establish just a layer of burnt sienna in there to have our lightest burnt sienna colors in there for that door. And then we will go in and darken all of this.